Hi, it's Sylvester, and I wanted to talk about my tattoos and piercings. I have 2 tattoos. I have no plans to get any more, not because I don't like tattoos. I do like them. It's just that the tattoos that I have come to regret. It's not that I hate them. As tattoos, they are nice. I like them, but I also have changed a lot as a person since I got them, and they no longer really represent who I am as a person, so I do kind of regret them. I've had several piercings throughout my life. All of the holes have closed up, except for my ears. I do still have holes in my ears. I could wear earrings if I wanted to. I mean, the holes have kind of closed up, but in the past I have taken earrings and just kind of like shoved them through the holes, even though it kind of hurt. So I could wear earrings if I wanted to, and I kind of wish that I was the sort of guy who wore earrings. Like the members of BTS wear earrings and they look fantastic, but I just don't have the confidence to be the kind of guy who wears earrings. So if you are a guy and you wear earrings, congratulations, you have more confidence than I do. Now, I don't remember when I got my ears pierced. I was a child. I begged my mom to let me pierce my ears, and I don't know, it was sometime in elementary school. I have no idea how old I was. I've had my ears pierced for most of my life. The first tattoo that I got was in 2012. I was 19 years old, and it was kind of a gift for myself for my birthday. I had seen this tattoo. It was Lady Gaga's tattoo. I saw it in the music video for Bad Romance. I was really into Lady Gaga in high school, and I got this tattoo in part because I like Lady Gaga, in part because I wanted to, I know this is going to sound weird, but I had some lower back hair, and I was really self-conscious about it because I'm a trans man, and at the time I thought that I was a girl, and so I thought that if I got a tattoo there, it would distract from the lower back hair, and I also got the tattoo there because I thought it was very feminine and would accentuate my curves. And again, I thought I was a girl at the time, which is the reason why I have come to regret the tattoo, because I've come to realize that I am not a girl. And while I do believe that men can have lower back tattoos and men can have flower tattoos, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I do feel a little bit self-conscious about it because, again, I sort of lack confidence, and I feel like if anybody ever saw me shirtless in public, I would probably be stared at or made fun of for having a lower back tattoo, you know, for being a dude who has a kind of girly tattoo. But at the time, I thought I was a girl, and I was very insecure about my lack of femininity because I felt like I wasn't like the other girls, and I really wanted to be more seen like as a girl. I really wanted to be accepted as a girl, and so it's not that I felt peer pressured into having this tattoo. It's just that I wanted to feel more sexy, I guess. And so I thought getting this sexy tattoo would make me feel more feminine and make me feel more at home in my body. Spoiler alert, it did not. It's not exactly like Lady Gaga's tattoo. There's the part above the butt crack in Lady Gaga's tattoo where it is a treble clef, but for me, it is my 452 symbol. It is the symbol of my channel. It is literally just the numbers 4, 5, and 2 smushed together. I like the number 452 because when I was growing up, I watched the show Reboot, and the main character of Reboot, Bob, he is guardian number 452. So 452 is my favorite number, and I just turned it into a symbol, and I decided that that symbol would represent me. So I've had this symbol long before I had a channel. When I was 19, I decided that I wanted to have a symbol like Prince. Why the hell not, you know? But I'm kind of mad because the guy who did the tattoo, I went to a really, really cheap place. It was kind of sketchy, if I'm being honest. I think it was like $100 for the entire tattoo, which is so incredibly cheap for a tattoo that large. But I was in university, I was very broke, I just wanted to go to the cheapest place possible, so I went to this guy, and he changed my design. When he drew the 452 symbol, he changed it. So if you look at the 452 symbol that I use to represent my channel and you compare it to the one that is tattooed on my lower back, they look distinctly different, and that was not my choice. It's because the tattoo artist, he just decided to do it differently. Like he just on a whim, decided to make it different than the design that I had given him. So, probably should have went to a place that was a little bit less sketchy, but it was all, I just didn't want to pay a lot of money. So then also when I was 19, I got my foot tattoo, which is, I call it the swirly cat because it is a cat and the tail is a spiral, so it's a cat that's kind of swirly. I probably didn't need to explain that. It's kind of self-explanatory, but I got this as a matching tattoo with one of my friends at the time, and her and I are no longer friends, and we had a pretty messy and painful falling out. So for a while, it was kind of painful to look at that tattoo because it just reminded me of her. And so for that reason, I highly recommend that you think really, really hard before you get a matching tattoo, because even though the person might be your friend now, or they might be your significant other now, they might not always be. And it's just, you're gonna have that tattoo forever unless you pay to get it removed. So just really think it through. My friend got the tattoo on her ankle, I got the tattoo on my foot, and then later on, for my friend's birthday, I paid for her to get the same tattoo. So there were 3 of us in total who had this tattoo, and I had a falling out with both of those girls. And I'm a little salty because I bought this girl a tattoo for her birthday, and for my birthday, she just gave me a handmade card and a joint rolled out of weed. That was my weed. She just took my weed, rolled a joint, and then gave it to me for my birthday. She also gave me coupons, those silly little this coupon is good for 1 free hug. It was sweet and it was cute, and the handmade card was nice, but I spent a lot of money getting this girl a tattoo, so I was a little bit salty, and I'm still a little bit salty that she gave me my own weed for my birthday, but that is neither here nor there. With the passage of time, it has become a lot less painful to look at this tattoo. I no longer think of my friend when I look at this tattoo. I just look at it and appreciate it as a tattoo for what it is. It is, at the end of the day, it's a nice tattoo, I think. I like it. It's silly. I like cats. I like spirals. I think spirals represent a lot of cool things. Change, but it's never the same. It's like a circle where things just kind of keep going around and around, but every time it's a little bit different. And so for me, spirals kind of represent change and progress, where life is cyclical, the world history repeats itself, but every time it repeats itself, it's a spiral, not a circle. So it's a little bit different and hopefully a little bit better. So I really like spirals. So it is a good tattoo in my opinion. I do like it. In fact, there might be more people who have this tattoo because we found this tattoo in a tattoo book. We were at a tattoo parlor and they have that book of example tattoos that you can get, and this was one of them. So that means that there might be other people in the world who have this tattoo. I have no idea. It is definitely not an original design at all. I can't give credit to the original artist because I don't know who the original artist was. By the way, the original artist of my lower back tattoo is actually Kat Von D. Kat Von D did not do my tattoo, but my tattoo was stolen from Lady Gaga, and Lady Gaga's tattoo was done by Kat Von D. So credit where it's due. Then I got my nipples pierced. I've said this before, but I was kind of ashamed of my nipples, and so I thought that if I pierced them, I would like them more. It would make them look nicer. I just didn't like how big my nipples were. I had very large nipples before I had chest surgery, and so I thought that if I pierced them, that might make my nipples look smaller somehow. I don't know. I don't really know what my thought process was, but I didn't like how it looked with the nipple piercings. I thought it just made my nipples look worse than I already thought they looked. So that kind of backfired. Wasn't really what I was hoping for. Then I got some surface piercings. It is really hard, or at least in 2012, it was really hard for me to find a tattoo parlor / piercing place that would do surface piercings, because nowadays everybody just does microdermals. Surface piercings, if you don't know, are piercings on flat parts of your body, and so again, most of the time people will just do microdermals now, but I really, really for some reason wanted staple piercings, and staple piercings are exactly what they sound like. They are piercings in the shape of staples, and they go under the skin, and part of the reason why people don't do them anymore is because the body tends to reject staple piercings within 6 months. Your body just kind of tries to push it out of you, and and so these have a high rejection rate. But again, I didn't care. I really, really wanted staple piercings. I wanted them underneath my collarbones, and so I found a place that was willing to do it. I got it done, but I really liked them. I thought they looked really nice. I used to really love collarbones because I kind of fetishized anorexia and like people who are really skinny, because when you're skinny, your collarbones just like stick out. And when I was in university, I had lost some weight and it wasn't healthy. I lost the weight by obsessing over calories and over what I ate and starving myself, and it was just not healthy. But I was really happy about the fact that I had lost weight and that my collarbones were sticking out more than they had when I was larger. And I no longer like collarbones. I understand now that I was fetishizing eating disorders, but at the time I just really liked collarbones, and I really liked seeing people's collarbones just like jutting out of their skin, you know? So I got these staple piercings underneath my collarbones to highlight the fact that my collarbones were sticking out. Then I got a belly button piercing. Most people, when they get a belly button piercing, they get the piercing on top of the belly button, but I got mine on the bottom of the belly button. I just thought that looked better. Then I got arrested. In 2013, I was being held hostage. I got kidnapped, and then the guy who was holding me hostage and I got arrested for possession of marijuana. And when they strip searched me, I had to take out my piercings. So I had to take out my nipple piercings, my staple piercings, and my belly button piercing, and the holes closed pretty quickly, so I never put the piercings back in, especially the staple piercings. Like once I removed them, I knew that they were not going back in. There was no way I was going to get them back in. They were all really fresh. They were like, I had recently gotten all of these piercings when I had gotten arrested, so I could have probably tried to put like my nipple piercings back in and my belly button piercing back in, but the holes were so fresh that they had closed up. They were like, they already, like, I didn't have them out for very long, but they had already started to close up because they were so fresh. And so I didn't try to put them back in. I just gave up on them. So then after I got away from the guy who kidnapped me, I decided to get some microdermals to replace the staple piercings, because I didn't really miss my nipple piercings. I didn't really miss the belly button piercing, but I definitely missed the staple piercings because I really, really like them. RIP staple piercings, but I got some microdermals to replace them, again, under the collarbone, just one on each side. I didn't do two on each side to kind of mimic the look of a staple piercing. I just did one on each side. And the funny thing is, when I got the microdermals done, I got home, and then I looked in the mirror and I realized that they were crooked. Like, one was up significantly higher than the other one was. So I went to my mom and I was like crying, because I lived with my mom at the time, and I was like, look at what they did to my microdermals, they're crooked. And it's like, I don't know why I hadn't noticed that they were crooked at the place when they pierced me, but I guess I just wasn't really paying that much attention. So my mom drove me back to the place where I got pierced, which was like, I don't know, like a 45-minute drive, because there was nowhere in town that would do the microdermals for me. She had to drive me like all the way back to the piercing place, and then they redid one of the microdermals for free. But that was a fun experience. I mean, it wasn't fun, but it was an experience. But because my weight would fluctuate so much, the microdermals sometimes would like stick out really far, and they kind of like started to fall out a little bit. And I remember one time I was opening up boxes because I had just moved, and then my microdermal got caught on like the edge of a box, and it ripped the microdermal out, and I was so upset. And so my friend drove me to a place that does piercings, and I'm like, can you put my microdermal back in? And I think I was like crying because I was very dramatic, and they would not put the dermal back in for me, and I was so upset. And so I just had one microdermal for a long time, but that one eventually did fall out as well, and my hair would constantly get like stuck on it, and so I'd be brushing my hair and then it would pull on my microdermal and be like, ow, and like it would catch on my clothes. And like, yeah, like I said, I had lost a lot of weight and gained a lot of weight. My weight fluctuated a lot, so the microdermals started sticking out real bad. And those are all the piercings that I've had. But there is one piercing, or I should say group of piercings, piercings that I really, really wanted for a long time, and that's a corset piercing. I really, really wanted a corset piercing. I saw this image here back in the day, and it just really stuck with me, and I wanted to get a corset piercing down my side for a long, long time. But again, it's hard to find people who will do corset piercings because they tend to reject. And a lot of times nowadays, corset piercings are done with microdermals. You get a dermal that has like a little hoop on it. But I didn't think that looked as good. So I didn't want dermals. I wanted like actual surface piercings. And like I said, it was hard to find somebody who would do that. And also because it means that you have to get pierced a lot. There's like a lot of separate piercings. It was going to cost a lot of money. And like I said, surface piercings tend to reject oftentimes within 6 months is what I've read. And so to spend that much money on piercings that I'd only have for like 6 months didn't seem worth it. But I really, really for a long time wanted a corset piercing, and I still think that corset piercings are badass and I love them. Anyways, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay frosty. Bye.